Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Alhamdulillah, I'm here to talk about, in general, Copperbelt Muslim Youth. Of course, in Copperbelt Muslim Youth, I am the executive secretary from inception up to now. My names are Elias Alex Mwewa, born Alex Mwewa. After I reverted to Islam, alhamdulillah, I adopted Elias, as I thought that this is a name that's closer to Alex, alhamdulillah. So today I just want to give some background about where we're coming from as Copperbelt Muslim Youth. Copperbelt Muslim Youth came in as a concept that was conceived by our very able chairman, currently Brother Ricky Kamboy, who refers himself to Al-Hajj Saeed Ricky Kamboy, alhamdulillah. Born out of just mere discussions when we met sometime back in 2012, we discussed the issue of community cohesion between the Muslim community, amongst the different Muslim communities of the Copperbelt. We recognize the fact that we are so fragmented, and being that the towns of the Copperbelt Province are so spaced, and there was no way that we were closely linked together. So Brother Ricky Al-Hajj shared the concept of having a Muslim youth group that to try to organize the Muslims of the Copperbelt, and probably in future to bring together various Muslim groupings, whether they are youths or they are non-youths. After the concept was shared by Brother Ricky, of course we went our different ways. I went back to my hometown, to my town, Chingola. He went a month later. After that discussion, he called me that we are having a meeting at Usakile Masjid, where we decided to put together what we are calling today Copperbelt Muslim Youth. When we came together in Kitwe, the early months of 2013, an executive was constituted, at which I was seconded to be the secretary, which position we call today executive secretary, and the chairman, of course, was and has been Saeed Rick Kamboy, as I've already alluded to. A team was constituted by the brothers from different towns, including Luansha, Chingola, Kitwe, and Ndola, basically, in terms of executive, the top executive. We didn't have a representation from Mufulira, from Kalulushi, and Chililabombwe. At that meeting that we held that time, we constituted a 14-member executive committee with positions such as chairperson, executive secretary, treasurer, and their vices, except the top two position of the chairperson and the executive secretary do not consist vices, and rather vice personnel. And after we constituted that, we decided that we'll be holding monthly meetings so that we don't lose the steam of what we have started. At that point, going forward, we were so consistent. We did what we could within our means and resources to ensure that we carry out our programs. And part of what we decided to, in order to extend the leadership or to grow Copperbelt Muslim Youth, because at the time it was just an executive group. So we wanted to start going to different towns. So to introduce Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we started organizing lecture sessions where we invite different shiyukh. But at the time, we had adopted Sheikh Siddiq Kaptula, the Mufti of Zambia now. We had adopted him, and Alhamdulillah, he agreed to be our patron. When he agreed to be our patron, he became very supportive to us in all areas of spiritual enlightenment and training. The first session of lectures that we held, dubbed it Muhadhara in Luansha, was very successful, attended by basically just the executive committee. And it is at that event where we learned a lot. I could still remember to date so many lectures that he gave in 2 days that we were there on a Saturday and Sunday. We learned more about sadaqah, how to give da'wah, and all those things. Brothers in Luansha who accommodated us during that time, alhamdulillah, were so good. They provided us accommodation and food, and the Copperbelt Muslim Youth Executive were sacrificing still by contributing funds to ensure that the program went on to completion without no problems, alhamdulillah. It is from there that when we finished the Muhadhara, we decided that we wrote out certain programs that may be different from the current program, which was a Muhadhara, a series of lectures, to opening up to the wider community, including non-Muslims, by going out to conduct street dawah program. But in terms of origin, we were coming from a background where the chairperson introduced Copperbelt Muslim Youth as just a youth group to us, the general members, the executive members now, and born out of Usakile Masjid. And that's where we are coming from. And Luansha was historic in terms of beginning our programs. Copperbelt Muslim Youth started existing as Copperbelt Muslim Youth way back in 2013. I may not say way back, but as far back as 2013. But throughout that period, we struggled to have ourselves registered, and everything put in place, alhamdulillah. On the 23rd of August 2015, we were registered under the government, GRZ, registrar of societies, and we got registered on that date, and we are officially a registered organization since then to now. Muslim Youth is not only for males, alhamdulillah. Within Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we have got a Muslima wing, or the Muslima section. It is not independent on its own, it is within the main Copperbelt Muslim Youth, but for proper administration, for ease of administration of our affairs with the female folk of the Muslims, we decided to constitute Copperbelt Muslim Youth female wing. Alhamdulillah, it is a full executive, very able and functional. It's been organizing our various events that involves the female Muslims. So that's another wing that I can't say much on, because it's got its own programs that fit into the main Copperbelt Muslim Youth. It's headed by our sister Amira Bintu Yunus, alhamdulillah, and other sisters in the executive. So that's another part that I shouldn't forget to mention of Copperbelt Muslim Youth. Copperbelt Muslim Youth has a motto like many other organizations. Like Zambia, the country, its motto is One Zambia, One Nation. What we stand for as Copperbelt Muslim Youth, our motto is knowledge and dawah. Knowledge and dawah. We deliberated on this motto, what are we going to, how are we going to exist, under what banner are we going to exist. Under the banner of Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we said we're going to carry ourselves with the motto of knowledge and Dawah. This came as a result of the fact that when we decided to form Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we said we are going to be a group that seeks knowledge and propagate it. It's no wonder we have knowledge and Dawah, which is propagation. Two words from different languages. Knowledge, English, Dawah in Arabic, to mean propagation. In this case, propagation of Islam. So that's our existing motto as CMY. A few challenges that Copperbelt Muslim Youth faces and has been facing since its inception. As I earlier stated, it's a group that was formed by mayor youths of the Copperbelt Province. And as everybody may be aware, to carry out programs, you need to have some financial stamina to mobilize people and other resources that are important to hold events or programs that you want to carry out. Copperbelt Muslim Youth depends merely on the executive membership for all its financial requirements. So what happens is, as Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we have decided that every month we'll be having every member of Copperbelt Muslim Youth should contribute something so to ensure the smooth running of Copperbelt Muslim Youth. And what we have done is we opened an account for Copperbelt Muslim Youth, into which we deposit our humble contributions for operations of Copperbelt Muslim Youth. And that has been a challenge because we are not a people who have a lot of money, but to hold big events like holding an annual conference, it is very difficult to raise $7,000 or $8,000 to hold such kind of events as Muslim youths. So basically, it is always a problem when we want to hold such big programs, or even have street Dawah events where we're supposed to move from one town to the other, move for the membership and equipment, cameras and literature. All those things are supposed to be moved. So you find that we are really squeezed, pushed in the corner when it comes to financial mobilization. And this is one big area of challenge. If we had resources to deal with most of these programs in terms of finance, I think if Allah wills, all these programs that we aspire to hold or to have would be easy. Another challenge that Copperbelt Muslim Youth is facing in trying to put its image forward, or the works to be broadcast to the wider community, local and international, like on the internet, in video and audio format, is we're lacking recording equipment. not necessarily lacking, but we don't have our own. Whatever we use currently is humble request from our brothers that have these recording equipment. And alhamdulillah, they've not failed us to now. And in terms of video camera, we started with, of course, I should mention that when earlier muhadarats that we used to hold, like the first one in Wansha, we used a video camera, a simple video camera. In fact, we started with a phone, and then we graduated on the second day. We started using a laptop webcam, and then later on, our brother came on board with a simple Canon video camera. It has been helpful to us, but we can't produce like high quality videos that will stand to compete in the changing technology. So basically, in terms of audio video recording, we have a lot of challenges. We do not have our own. I must say that it's just assisted. We're just assisted by our brother who owns the camera. But in case, in the absence of that, in case it failed, then we are done. So I think I can even use this opportunity to appeal to anyone who would want to donate to us a camera or cameras or just audio video recording equipment. They are very much welcome to take part in the Dawah activities that we carry out, and indeed sharing the good of Islam is every Muslim's responsibility. You may not go out in the field to do street dawah, to conduct street dawah, or to lecture at the muhadara or conference, but you can take part by donating that one camera that you are not using, by donating funds that buys the camera or audio recording equipment that can be used to buy a PA system that we do not have at the moment. But alhamdulillah, volunteers come on board all the times that we have these events, but we are hoping that we are going to have our own. Then the other aspect of challenge is mobilization of membership from other towns. As I mentioned earlier in the preamble about the formation of Copperbelt Muslim Youth, we identified brothers that we knew in towns like Chingola, Kitwe, Luansha, and Ndola. Left out were 3 towns: Kalulushi, Mufulira, and Chiliravombwe. Not deliberate, but we didn't know anyone that was willing to come on board to come and be a part of Copperbelt Muslim Youth. So when we constituted the Copperbelt Muslim Youth executive, those 3 towns of the Copperbelt were missing and have been missing up to now. So when having programs in those times where we have got executive representation, it's easy to mobilize our members, and we can gather a very big group of people to attend our programs. But when it comes to these 3 towns that I've mentioned, it's always been a challenge. So I'm hoping that going forward, we will, inshallah, have membership or have deliberate policies that requires that we have representation of members from those towns that are not represented. Deliberately, I'm hoping that we decide to put deliberate policy that includes our brothers from those other towns, so that administration-wise we are settled and we make it easy for ourselves in future. And lastly, but not the least, in terms of the challenges, is also a wing of the females in our. It's quite a difficult issue when you want to organize an event at which females are supposed to attend. From our executive side, we have our able executive, but at the same time, Al-Islam encourages that we take care of the hijab of our Muslim sisters, how they move, how they move, how they travel to such events, how we are going to have them accommodated. Do they have a mahram? Do they have what it takes for them to stay away from their places? So on that one, it's still a puzzle. We're really trying to work out how we can best ensure that we ease the situation of our sisters whenever we have got big events at which we feel our sisters should take part and share in the goodness that we experience at these events, where I feel personally that we disenfranchise them from taking part. We push them away, not deliberate, but because we may not have the resources in terms of how we're going to ensure that a sister who's traveling has a mahram, or maybe they can have their own transport arrangement that just takes them without mixing with other people. So that one is one of our big challenges that we are looking into sorting out. And inshallah, we ask you to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease for us this challenge and all the challenges that I've stated here.